What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Abel here with STL Tones, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new amplifier addition to the already insane library of amps that you guys have in AmpHub. We are adding a new amplifier. This is called the Steiner Tone Cake 50V2, which is based on a Stevens Pound Cake Mark II. It's a 50-watt amplifier running EL34s. It's a 3-channel amp. So you've got crunch, you've got a lead channel, which they call heat, and then of course you have a clean channel. All of them sound really, really good for what they're intended. So without further ado, let's hop on screen and check this out. Signal chain for this is going to be this Minus Duval Elite loaded with Seymour Duncan pickups going into a Universal Audio Aero interface going into Cubase, and of course we're running AmpHub. That's so difficult to say. But all right, so hopping on screen, you see the interface is really cool. You got Steiner there in the center. It's a pretty cool graphic. It's very realistic. And of course we have 3 channels. You've got crunch, heat, and you have clean. And now if you look over here, you've got a master volume for heat and crunch. And then you've got a pre-gain control for heat, crunch, and clean, which means you can mess with that gain control on the clean channel if you want to add a little bit of oomph to it. You've got the EQ panels over here. One of them is strictly for the clean tone, and then of course the heat and crunch are sharing this EQ here. And then you have depth and presence for your power section stuff. That's basically it. It's pretty straightforward. Everything is at noon. So we start off with a pretty good plain foundation. I want to give you guys a good idea of what the amplifier sounds like. And let's get started. So I'm going to volume up. We are going to start off, let's just start with crunch and see what we got. All right, we are crunching, but I like to crunch harder, if you guys know what I mean. But let's turn the gain up a little bit. By the way, completely forgot to mention, you guys also have a bright switch control for each one of those channels. So here's the bright for this one. I tend to like it more in the on position, but of course that's going to be up to you guys. All right, let's play with this a little bit more. Let's start tweaking that EQ panel, bringing some brightness out of this tone. It's a very low ND amplifier. But of course, we have a plethora of pedals that we can run in front of this. So let's gain down a little bit, bring that back to, let's just leave it at noon. And I'm going to bass back up and leave that there. I had to cut a lot of low end. That's just my personal taste, but let's throw a pedal in front of it. Let's go just straight up 808 style. Let's not complicate things too much and run it the conventional way. Now let's see what we got. Sounded pretty sick. Let's throw a reverb back there, because reverb with classic tones sound sick. Gonna bring it down a little. I think that sounds really, really sick. I'm a sucker for that just reverb classic tone. All right, so let's move over to the heat channel. It's time to bring the heat. How many different ways can you incorporate heat into the fact that you're gonna switch channels? I think that's pretty cool. But let's turn this pedal off for the sake of hearing the amp in its form. Let's turn these effects off. And again, let's go back to noon. Just want to start at the bottom. All right, that's like all the way up. I don't know why, but here, let's just start it where everybody else is at. All right, here we go. Right, so obviously if we really push it, we can push those chugs out of it. I don't think that's necessarily what this is designed for. I think this has a really just like awesome, almost 80s metal to classic rock type of a tone vibe to it. And I just rather play in those parameters because it just sounds so good. Here, let's throw these effects back on here and on the back end of this and see what we got. I should probably turn the pedal on. There we go. Check it out. Let's gain up for science. Whoa, that was the wrong button. All right. That's a sick lead tone. All right, so let's move on to the clean channel. And this is probably my favorite channel on this amplifier. And I normally don't say that about amps because, you know, clean is not normally where my brain goes. When I'm talking about favorite tones, I like to chug all day, but the clean channel on this is just awesome. I'm gonna leave everything at noon here, and I'm not even gonna mess with my pre-gain control. This is what our tone sounds like, just dry, nothing back here. I'm gonna start with the neck because, you know, tone, but. All right, so nice, clean tone, right? Nothing crazy, but I love the way that this amplifier reacts when you throw this basic compressor at it. Check this out. Now I'm gonna split my coil. I think that sounds really, really good. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw some effects here. Now this is fine where it's at, but I'm going to remove that, throw this, I'm gonna BPM sync it. I'm like around like 120 BPM on my template most of the time. And then I'm gonna throw the space verb behind it. I'm gonna mix down and then just barely leave like just a hint of the shimmer back there somewhere. And now let's listen to this. Sounds really good. And then finally, what I'm gonna do is lean into one of my favorite tones of all time, and that's a low gain lead tone with some heavy effects behind it. Let's balance up, throw a little bit of drive in here. That right there. If I was stuck with that tone right there for the rest of my guitar playing life, that would be the tone that I would pick to be stuck with. But anyways, as you guys can tell, very classic, very awesome tones out of this. You get that classic rock tone. You can really get a lot of gain pushed out of it, especially with a pedal running in front. And really running into that 80s sort of metal reverb type territory. And then that clean tone is just, oof, that clean tone is money. Of course, if you guys are watching this video, that means this is now live and available for download over at stltones.com. So head over there and download your update, and you'll have this bad boy in your amplifier library, your growing library. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like, that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you see all the new products and videos that STL Tones is rolling out. My name is Abel Hernandez. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video.